Well, I've kept on saying, be careful what you wish for. And again, you're telling me that I'm finished and I'm telling you that I'm not, and I'm going to prove myself right. So when that result happens on March 7th, I'm going to be like, told you. What happens when you do lose a round? What happens when you get buzzed? What happens if you get cut? What happens if you go down? And these are questions that she's never had to answer. And I plan to make her answer some of them.
So I am delighted to be joined by Miss GB, Natasha Jonas. How are you, Tasha?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Do you like Tasha or Natasha?
I've been called a lot worse, so anything.
You have so many accolades in your career. When you look back at them all, how do you feel? Do you kind of sit there and think, wow, like, I've done this? Or is it kind of like, oh, chip off the shoulders, it's just who I am?
The sad thing about sport is that you're always focused on the result and results driven. So once you've kind of, say it was to win an amateur title at the ABAs, and then I won it. Okay, well now I need to do something bigger and better. So then you go to a tournament with England and I want to win the EUs. You win it. Okay, I want to do something better. Now I want to qualify for the Olympics. Yeah, you did it. And so it's only when you stop and look back that you'd appreciate. Like, it's only when people, I hate people talking about my achievements because they're just titles, aren't they? That's like, it's not really who I am. It's just what I've done. And
it is a part of you, I guess.
Yeah, but
it doesn't define you. But
yeah, it's not. It doesn't define me, and it's not. It's the journey to get to that. That's the bit that proves who I am, and but yeah, it is only when you actually stop and look back that you would appreciate where you've been.
Do you think in maybe 5-10 years, like, or when your little one has kids, you'd be like, well,
sit down, I've got a story to tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some stories to tell, so yeah, hopefully, like, yeah, it'd be good. And I think for a lot of the journey, my little girl has been there and been at my side, and I've chased her down the track and she's counted my reps in the gym. So it's been good that she'll have memories of, and she's got a little soft spot for Corolla as well. She loves Anthony Corolla.
Oh, who doesn't?
I know, yeah. So she's always like, oh, there's the boy from your gym. I'm like, yeah, Corolla.
Yeah, so you are one of the trailblazers for women in sport. You've kicked, you've pushed every boundary down. What is it that keeps pushing you to be motivated to do this?
I don't think I've reached my ceiling. And like I said, when you're results driven, when you reach that result, if you set yourself a goal and then you reach your goal, then it wasn't big enough. Or you can push it a bit more. And I keep doing that and pushing it a bit more and pushing it a bit more. And eventually there'll be a ceiling, but I haven't reached it yet. So when I get to the ceiling, I'll let you know.
I love that answer.
Yeah, you just got to keep going. I think, don't let other people put barriers and limitations on who you can be and what you can become. It's all about what I believe I can do. And still, even at 40, I'm still getting stronger. I'm still getting fitter. I'm still getting faster. So who knows where the possibilities are endless.
Do you find it frustrating? Because for me, especially as a woman and everything we go through anyway, is it frustrating to have your ability questioned every single fight because it's, oh, she's 40 now, but she's 40 now? Because I hear it and I'm like, have you watched her? Like, do you know what Natasha's about? Like,
I think with age comes experience, and I have been around a long time, but I did start really late. So even though I might be in age older, boxing sense, I've been boxing the same time as Sav has, but Sav's a whole lot younger than I am. So, but we're still in boxing sense, been boxing for 20 years. So it is a little bit different, but yeah, it doesn't bother me. Like, I let that be a barrier for them.
That's a good way to look at it. So, two-weight world champion, what has been the highlight or most rewarding moment of your career?
As a professional, I think...
Or even at amateurs, your first British Olympic.
Yeah, I don't think it comes any bigger than when I qualified for the Olympics and I knew I was going, and like that moment, especially when I got off the plane and saw my mum. My mum told me the story of when I was 4, watching the 88 Games in Seoul, saying, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. And it took me 24 years, 105 sports, lots of tears, blood, sweat, but I got there. And I think that moment that I had with my mum getting off the plane was very special. But then the night against Namas, you know, it was the Amir Khan, Kelbrook undercard. There was the environment was hostile. There was Khan supporters, there was Brook supporters, and there was no in between. You could cut the atmosphere with a knife. It was that intense. Joe would like give me loads in the changing rooms, as in like motivating me, like, can we do it? We've got this, can we do it? We're gonna do this. And I was like, yeah. And then I'd like almost gone into like a fear. And he was like, make sure you enjoy it. And I was like, is he messing? Is he messing? Is he messing? And then I'd worked on with the psychologist, being present and enjoying the thingy. But then, so I've got a mix of 2 songs. So the first song is very slow. It's Emily Sandé, Extraordinary Being, and it's boom, boom, and all instrumentals, and not nearly sang. But so when that was out, all the lights went out. The arena was pitch black, but everyone had the phones out and the little lights on the phone. And I remember just standing around thinking, this is how Beyonce feels. And then Girls Run the World comes on, boom, I'm in Miss GB mode. I'm going to the ring, I'm focused. And I had a brilliant first round, and then obviously went and finally won a world title. And just that moment, that relief of finally being able to say, I knew I could do it and I've done it. That was like, that's hard to beat. That's hard to beat.
Obviously the fight's March 7th, I think March 8th is International Women's Day. How important is it for you as a trailblazer of the sport? I know we say it all the time, you're probably so sick of hearing it, you're like, I just want to box. But how important is it for you to showcase women's boxing at this level?
You know what? For a long time, I was like, I'm just a boxer. I'm just like, I don't want to be. I don't want to be influencing anyone. Like, but I realised that like when you become like have a presence. Now I've got this voice that people want to listen to, and I remember being that little girl, whether that was in the little girl that played footy with the lads, or the girl in school that hid that she could play sports because she didn't want her friends to know, because didn't want to stand out for any reason. To now being that confident woman that stands there with a voice that everybody takes in. I respect that people, you know, I've got things to say that people want to hear, and I take that on board, and I try and use my presence, my voice positively for the people in my community to and Liverpool and beyond in my sport, whatever that is, whatever reason you connect to me, to use that positively and do something good and encourage women to do and be better.
Is there a specific message you want to send in this fight with Lauren?
Well, I've kept on saying, be careful what you wish for. And again, it is that kind of, okay, you all think that I'm past it. I'm telling you that I am. So when that result happens on March 7th, I'm going to be like, told you. And that's I'm not here to, you know, bring anybody down or dim anyone's light. I want us all to shine. But ultimately, yous are telling me that I'm finished, and I'm telling you that I'm not, and I'm going to prove myself right. That's it. You know, don't let anybody tell you who you can be, who you can become, what you can do. You go and prove that to yourself. You know, if you've got dreams, aspirations, hopes, it's okay to run with that, and it doesn't matter if the pack aren't with you. It's okay to be alone and be solitary and go and do it yourself, and you'll reap the rewards in the end.
Sure, I think when we first spoke many years ago and I asked you what kind of legacy do you want to leave in boxing, it was a bit of a similar answer to what you mentioned before. It was like, I don't think I've kind of, maybe not that you didn't think you contributed enough, but you didn't particularly want to leave any sort of heavy legacy, but now you're like, oh, this is me, this is what I've achieved. Yeah. And it's brilliant.
I don't mean to do anything, but if people take inspiration from the journey, whether that's because you're a woman, because you're from Liverpool, because you're black, because you're from Toxteth, whatever reason that is, then use it. Hopefully it was positive. It was a positive impact I had, hopefully. And that's it. I'm just being me, chasing my dreams. I encourage you to do the same.
What would you say is the biggest obstacle you've had in boxing?
I think motherhood was a big change, and it wasn't from me. It was from what people expected of me. They all of a sudden thought, all right, she's a mum now, she's not going to want to get punched in the face, and she's, you know, there's certain connotations of being a mum and what that involves that boxing kind of competes against. You know, you are supposed to be loving and caring, but in the ring it's violent and it's aggressive, and that's not the attributes that you show as a mum, or that people think that you should show as a mum. But like, again, it's just okay to be you. I am a mum. I am a, you know, first Olympian, whatever. I'm the first whatever. These are all no, but these are just titles. But ultimately, I'm just trying to be the best that I can be, and find my ceiling. And every time that something keeps coming up, I'll keep pushing it and keep pushing it. If I keep achieving that, I'm going to keep pushing it until I can't. And like again, like the titles are just titles, but like I'm just me. I'm just doing what I do, what I want to do, and hopefully that leaves a positive trail in my way.
So on the way to that ceiling, who do we want to see? Want the Taylor rematch?
We want a lot of price win, and then whatever fight comes next, whether that's a Michaela Meyer, whoever wins out of Ed and Sandy, or whether that's Katie Taylor, you know, both of them fights would be undisputed fights. And then, you know, I don't know if I've got anything else to prove after that.
A quote that you said to me years ago was, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And that's always stuck with me. What is it about Lauren that you admire and you see those best qualities in?
I think she's coming with all the momentum and the razzmatazz of Olympic champion and all that brings. But I'm here to put a stop to that. And okay, yeah, that was great what you did as an amateur, and I really do respect that. But this is the big leagues. This is the pro game, and to be honest, there's only little tiny things that set us all apart. Because at the top elite level of boxing, it's only little percentages. But I just believe I'm better, and that's it. And I plan to prove that.
Without giving away too much, what do you think is going to be the determining factor in this fight?
Well, I think that she believes she is fitter, stronger, faster, but there's a lot of situations in boxing that she's never been in. And I think her reactions to that will tell us more about her than anything else that she's ever done. What happens when you do lose a round? What happens when you get buzzed? What happens if you get cut? What happens if you go down? And these are questions that she's never had to answer. And I plan to make her answer some of them.
Thank you so much. I know you've had a really long time.
No, it's okay.
Thank you so much.
No, it's all right.
Always a pleasure with you.
It's all right.